teenagers in the early 90s, Terminator 2 showed the pinnacle of cool, the blueprint for every rebel kid on the planet. No, not the ginger one, I'm talking about John Connor. For 90s nostalgia, John is the ultimate aesthetic. The Public Enemy t-shirt, the dirt bike, the Atari portfolio ATM hacks.
Yes! Hey, it worked. Alright. Easy money. Come on!
He had the keys to the kingdom. But the actor, Edward Furlong, went off the rails, spiraling into a swamp of drug addiction, overdose and homelessness. When Terminator 3 rolled around, the role went to Nick Stahl, who proceeded to spiral into the exact same swamp of addiction and homelessness. So you might think the curse ended with Christian Bale. His career survived, sure, but look closer at that set. Kyle Reese in that movie was played by Anton Yelchin. He died in a freak tragic accident just a few years later. So I posed the question to myself, is John Connor the most cursed role in Hollywood? It's nothing compared to the death curse associated with a comedy script so poisonous, Hollywood is now too terrified to touch it. Join us as Channel 69 opens Hollywood's FUF files for the first time. But as dark as that story around the John Connor Kyle Reese roles gets, it kind of stays within the realm of Hollywood tragedy, a mix of bad choices and freak accidents. But then there's Atuk, a script so notorious it's effectively buried in a vault for decades. It isn't a horror movie or gritty thriller, it's a comedy about an Inuit hunter in New York. Sounds harmless, right? In 1982, John Belushi was the biggest comedic force on the planet. He read the script for Atuk, loved it, immediately signalled he wanted the lead. Months later, before they even got round to filming a single shot, Belushi was tragically found dead in a bungalow at the Chateau Marmont. He was only 33 years old. At the time, Hollywood called it a tragic loss of a legend, but they didn't realise it was actually the opening act in a terrifying series of coincidences. The script sat untouched for years and was radioactive, but in 1988, Hollywood tried to tempt fate again. This time they tapped the loudest, most fearless man in comedy, Sam Kinison.
It's on doing drugs, listen to the goddamn Beatle albums!
Unlike Belushi, Kinison actually made it to set. Production began, but the vibe was off from day one. Kinison was reportedly possessed by a hatred for the script, demanding massive rewrites and allegedly threatening to give a bad performance on purpose to tank the film. The production collapsed in 8 days. United Artists sued Kinison for millions and the movie was shelved. The curse caught up. Kinison was killed in a head-on collision on a desert highway. He was only 38. Skeptics pointed to his lifestyle, but in the back rooms of Hollywood people were whispering there was a pattern. If you touched the Atuk script, you didn't just lose a job, you lost everything. Enter a man everyone loved, John Candy. In '94, Candy was reportedly reading the script and considering taking the lead role. He was the perfect fit, the gentle giant of comedy. But while he was filming something else, the Atuk pattern struck again. Candy suffered a fatal heart attack in his sleep. He was gone at 43. At this point, the script should have been burned. Instead, it found its way into the hands of the one man who worshipped the ground that John Belushi walked on, Chris Farley. Farley was warned, the script is bad news, but he's obsessed with following in Belushi's footsteps. And, in a chilling bit of irony, he died of an overdose at the age of 33, the exact same age as his idol Belushi. The Atuk body count's no longer a coincidence, it's a list, and it wasn't done. It wasn't just hunting leading men, because you haven't seen the full list. Shortly before his death, Chris Farley showed the script to his close friend and Saturday Night Live legend Phil Hartman. He wanted Hartman to star in the film with him. 5 months later, Hartman was tragically murdered in his sleep. And then there was Michael O'Donoghue, a brilliant dark mind of early Saturday Night Live. He worked on the script back with Belushi, and then later with John Candy. and he died of a cerebral hemorrhage just months after John Candy passed away. At this point, Hollywood finally did the only logical thing. They stopped. The script for Atuk was tucked away in a vault at United Artists, where it remains to this day. Why this script? Why a harmless comedy? Some believe the darkness didn't come from Hollywood, but from a source material itself. The film was about Inuit shamanism, and there's a legend in there, an avenging monster, the Tupilak, created from animal parts and bones sent by a sorcerer to hunt down victims. The theory among the superstitious people in Hollywood was that by trying to Hollywoodize a story rooted in indigenous culture by casting white, larger-than-life comedians, the production inadvertently invited a spiritual backlash. Or it was all coincidence. I mean, there was a second unfilmable masterpiece called A Confederacy of Dunces. For decades, it was another holy grail for comedic actors, and the list of people who tried to play the lead should sound hauntingly familiar. John Belushi was first choice. He died. John Candy was the second. He died. Chris Farley was the third. He died. Even the man who wrote the book, John Kennedy Toole, committed suicide before it was ever published, never seeing it win the Pulitzer Prize. Anyway, it's all just a coincidence, right? I mean, Belushi, Candy, Farley, they all struggled with significant health issues or substance abuse. In a town built on ego and ambition, the Atuk script remains the ultimate reality check. It's a reminder that some roles don't just demand your time or your talent, they demand your life.